Okay, good morning everybody, and Hazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday morning as we are studying together Perashat Tetzaveh. My friends, today we have a crazy class, okay, if my voice allows me to deliver. But my friends, I want to share with you today something that is just wild stuff. You're not going to get this in a sermon. You're not going to get this in a speech that you hear in the shul in 10 minutes. This is just really classic Rabbeinu Bachia going deep. Really excellent. I'm not sure of the title of today's class, but today we're going to be talking about gemstones. Okay? So, if you want to know more about the stones that you're wearing or that you bought for your wife, or that you want your husband to buy for you, or that one day you look when you go window shopping, if you want to understand the different stones, today's class is for you. So here we go. Of course, where do stones appear in our parasha? Very simple. GIA Certified. Love that title. Okay, I'm going to remember that one. GIA Certified. Very good. So the parasha tells us that the Kohen Gadol wore 8 pieces of clothing. Yes, he wore a hat, he wore the shorts, he wore a robe, and one of the clothing that he wore was a hoshen, which is a breastplate. The pasuk says, "Ve'asita hoshen mishpat." You shall make a breastplate, and it should be made out of different materials. It should be a square, and you should put in it umeleta bo miluat even. You should put in it mounts for stones. Arba'a turim even. 4 rows of stones. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. And each row has 3 stones. Odem pitda ubareket hatur ha'ehad. The first row had 3 stones. They were called Odem pitda ubareket. Okay, so imagine 3 stones this way. Then the second row had Nofech sapir yahalom. Pasuk says then the third row had Leshem shebo ve'ahlama. And finally, the 4th row, Tarshish, Shoham, and Yashefeh. Okay, so these are 4 rows, and each row had 3 stones. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, these are the 12 stones that the Kohen wore. So look what he says. Rabbeinu Bachia over here, I'm starting in the middle. He says, Orko shel hoshen shte zratot. Its length was 2 zirits. Okay, a certain length. Verohbo zirit, and its width was 1 zirit, so it's 2 by 1. However, they folded it in half, kaflu l'shnaim, and therefore it's a complete square, 1 by 1, because it's too long, but they folded it up. They put a paper in between. The paper had on it God's name, a special name. Okay, and he says over here, each stone, there were 12 stones, but what did the 12 stones represent? So he says, Miftah Shemot Yudbet Shvatim al Yudbet Avanim. Each stone had a name of a tribe. Reuven was on the first one, Shimon on the second one, Levi on the third, so on and so forth. Okay? So you have 12 stones, each one has a name of a tribe on it. But he says, Umilvad Yudbet Shvatim, besides for the 12 names, there was something else written on the stones. You didn't know this. So we're talking about, Rabbi. Each one had the name of a tribe. It's true, but there was something else written on the stone. What was written on it? Who knows? He says, Milvad, besides for the 12 names of the tribes, were the Avot, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And the other 2 words, Shivtei, Yeshurun. The tribes of Yeshurun. So unbelievable over here. Look at this. You have over here 12 stones for the 12 tribes. So each tribe gets his own stone. But now you're telling me there's another 5 words we had to write. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Shiftei, Yeshurun. Where do we write those 5 names? She says it's like this. You ready? Reuven, the first stone had on it 6 letters. Reuven, Resh, Aleph, Vav, Bet, Nun, 5 letters. And then Aleph. So 6 letters. Aleph, the first letter of Avraham. Shimon, same thing. Shin, Mem, Ayin, Vav, Nun. And then a Bet. Then the third stone had Levi, 1, 2, 3, and then Resh, Hey, Mem. So he spelled out Aleph, Bet, Resh, Hey, Mem, Avraham. So you have 6 letters on the first stone, 6 letters on the second stone, 6 letters on the third stone. Yehuda had his 5 letters plus the Yud of Yitzchak. Then the next one, Yisachar plus the Tzadi. Zevulun plus the Het. Dan is only 2 letters, so how many more do we have to add? 4. So Dan had the Kuf of Yaakov, the Kuf of Yitzchak, and then the Yud Ayin Kuf of Yaakov. So altogether 6. Naphtali had his name plus the Bet. Gad had his 2 plus Shevati. 4 letters of the word Shevatim. Shivtei, just those 4 letters. Then Asher had his 3, and Yeshur, Yud Shin Resh. So 3 and 3 is 6. Yosef had his 4 plus Vav Nun, Yeshurun. And then Binyamin had 6 letters. He was all alone. So the only tribe that had his complete name by himself was Binyamin, because he has 6 letters. And he says, interestingly, I don't want to go too deep into this because there's a lot more that he talks about, but look at this. See, he says each stone has 6, and 12 times 6 is 72. So 72 we know is a very big name. 72 letters in the name of God, special name. So 72 letters corresponding to the 72 letters that were in the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. And not only that, so we know that Hashem created the world in 6 days. But he created the world in 6 days. He didn't work in the night. He only created during the day. So if you do 12 times 6 again, it's 72. So you have 72 hours of creation, correspond to the 72 letters of God's name, correspond to the 72 letters that were in the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. Beautiful. That's why Pasuk says, Olam Hesed Yibaneh. It's a Pasuk in Tehillim. God created a world of Hesed. When God created the world, it was an act of kindness. But it wasn't just an act of kindness. The word Hesed has the numerical value, Het, Samech Daled, of 72. Pretty cool, right? Okay, very nice. Now, he says as follows. So here we go, my friends, into a lengthy discussion today of gemstones. Veda, and you should know, that it's found in the different books of science. All the precious gemstones. There are only 12 stones that we could call original stones. Everything else is a derivative. Everything else is a combination. But he quotes, at least from his science books, that there were only 12 stones. And every other stone comes from one of those 12. And therefore, the 12 stones that were in the breastplate correspond to the 12 original stones. And he's going to walk us one by one, telling us what each stone, what it is, what color is it, and then what does it translate to, and what is it good for. So here we go. On the first stone, what was it called? Anyone remember? It's called an Odem. Odem, from the tribe of Reuven. Reuven was written on the Odem. Why was Reuven given the Odem stone? He says, Al Shem she'edimu panav behet bil'ah. Odem means red. When he sinned with Bilhah, when he moved the beds of his father, Reuven was very embarrassed. And he was criticized. And his face became red. He was very ashamed. Vehodan, he ended up admitting. Velo bosh, he didn't try to shy away from admitting. And in English, Ha'even Azot, he says, Nikra Rubin. This is called the Rubin stone. In English, we would say ruby. It's a ruby stone. It says the Odem. This is found in certain places in the ocean. It's really mined from a very big rock. The same way you would mine gold and silver. So this stone, Odem, it's red, it's a ruby. It's mined from the ocean, from rocks. And it was given to Reuven because his face became red when he was rebuked for sinning with Bilha. Okay. He says, Segulato, what is this? What is this rock known for? He says, Segulato, shekol isha shenosa'ato, any lady that carries this rock, this stone, people wear it around their neck. It has a certain remedy, a charm. What is it for? Ena mapelet le'olam nefalim. It's good for miscarriage. A person that's having a hard time carrying a child or holding a child, they wear this stone. It has a certain segula, this red. And it's also tov le'isha ha'maksha le'lid. It's good for a lady that has difficulty in labor. If you're able to grind up this stone and mix it in to your food or your drink, it can help very much for fertility. Okay, so people that are also having a hard time in fertility, this stone seems to be a very big segula to help in that area. It happens to be that we know that Reuven himself came one day from the field with dudaim. He came with a certain mandrake, a certain flower that had in it a remedy for fertility. And then Rahel saw them and she said, "Can I have them?" The dudaim, by the way, they look like a person. It's a certain flower that looks like a person. They're called mandrakes. I guess that's why man, from the person, human, right? From men. And Reuven, when he had them, his mother took them and she traded with Rahel, and eventually we know Rahel had a child because of this. That's why the word odem, this stone, not only is it good for fertility, but it's even called odem from the word adam. Actually, it's written without a vav. How do you write odem? Aleph, vav, right? But it's not written with a vav. It's written missing. Aleph, dalid, mem. Why? Because it's telling you over here that the spelling is telling you the function of the stone. The stone is meant to help people have Adam, have children, have future descendants. Okay, so wild stuff going on with the first stone, Odem, Reuven, and what it's good for. Okay, there are also, by the way, 12 months. He doesn't go into that, but there are much literature. I don't know if it has a source, but each month corresponds to a different stone. But he doesn't go into that part. But either way, Odem is Reuven, it's the ruby. Next, Shimon. Shimon was the second stone. He was on a stone called the Pitda. Pitda hi even yiruka. It's a green stone. Kekarti, bekirke hayam, like karti. I guess green leeks. V'chen tergumo yarkan. Onkelos translated it as yarok. Yarok is green. V'nikra parasma. He says, okay. והוא מן נופך שהוא מרקדי, שהוא גם כן ירוק. So anyways, it's not really, if you look at parasma or markadi, I don't think you'll find anything. But this is what we call today an emerald. He says the truth is these two different stones of parasma and merkadi, they're both from the same stone. והתיכה אחת, however, המרקדי הוא המובחר. This higher emerald is shinier. And it's cut, right? והוא בתכלית הירקות. וזיבו מבהיק ואורו מתנוצץ. Very shiny. והפרסמה ירוקה גם כן, אבל היא למטה ממנו. It's a lower grade. בין בירוקות, בין בזיו, whether in greenness or in shininess. So the lower grade, whatever it is, he says, is the emerald. ומה שנתנה האבן הזאת לשמעון, why was it given to Shimon? על שם שהוריקו פניו של זמרי בן סלו, Nesi Shevet Shimon. When we know Shimon's great-great-great-grandson, Zimri, ended up sinning with the Midianite, the princess, the Goya, Kozbi Batsur. When a person sins and they're caught, I guess their face becomes a certain green complexion. V'chen kol mi shechat'u b'Shevet Shimon, horiku penehem, their face became green. And therefore, he was given a green stone. And Skulata Even Azot, what does this stone help for? This helps a person become a little bit cold. Cold in the sense of when a person is filled with passion and lust, they become very heated. This stone cools you down. I guess it takes away the urge, a certain urge of temptation, of lust. That's why he says it's found in the country of Kush, in the Sudan. Why? Over there, the people over there, he says, they're filled with immorality. They need this stone to cool them down, so to speak. And therefore, this stone is very appropriate for Shimon, who unfortunately had a descendant who was filled with lust and immorality. Wild stuff over here. Okay, next. Levi, the third stone. He was on something called the bareket. What is bareket? Vihi hakarbon kala. This is in English, it's called a garnet. Okay, look it up, garnet. It's a stone that is also red a little bit, but Hashem shenotzetet kebarak umeira kaner. It shines very, very much. It has a certain shine within itself. That's why it's called bareket. Barak is like thunder, lightning, just boom, like a bolt. And he says, this is the stone shetala Noach bateva. This is the stone that Noach used in the ark. Like it says, Sohar ta'ase lateva. What did Noach use for source of light? How did they see? So there's two opinions. One opinion says it was a window. There's another opinion that says it was a very shiny stone. What stone? Says Rabbi Bahya, it was this stone, the bareket, the third stone, the stone of Levi, was used. Beautiful. And why did he give it to Levi, this stone? Not Levi, because they shined like the Torah. Of course, Levi was in charge of teaching the Torah to the Jewish people. Yoru mishpatecha leYaakov, they will teach your laws to Jacob and your Torah to Israel. And therefore, and also Moshe hayam shevet Levi. Moshe was also from this tribe. And what happened when Moshe was born? Itmale kol habayit ora, the house was filled with light. V'ne'emar bo ki karan or panav, and Moshe's face had a shine. So you see, the tribe of Levi, Moshe, the Teva, they're all associated with a certain shine. And this comes from this stone. Uchtiv, and the pasuk says, Chochmat Adam Ta'ir Panav. The Torah helps a person become wise. So what does this stone help for? This is a good remedy. Shehi machkimat peti. It helps fools become intelligent. Umeirat enayim, it helps a person with their wisdom. Besides the fact that you can also use it to see, but really it can help a person become very, very smart and wise. And they say, if you grind it, you mix it into your food or drink, and a person drinks it or eats it, it'll help very much to help a person become wiser and open up their hearts, their understanding. Okay, so if your child is struggling, my friends, it may even be cheaper than the therapist that you're paying for. Who knows? This stone. Again, I'm not recommending to eat these stones. Speak to your doctor. I don't know if it's safe. But again, over here, he's telling you that it's a good remedy, at least for wisdom. That's the third stone. Okay, so we have infertility, we have immorality, we have knowledge. Number 4, Yehuda. Yehuda, haya mefutah al nefech. He's the fourth stone, called the nofech. What is that? We said earlier, it's similar to the second stone. It's the shinier part. It's the emerald. Okay? Like we said, it's green. Yehuda. Again, why does Yehuda get a green stone? We said before, green is connected to immorality. He says it's true. Yehuda, remember what he did with Tamar? He ended up falling with her, and he became green from it. He eventually overcame, though, and he admitted to what he did wrong. And also, Horiku Panav, his face became green for a second reason. Al Shechashdo Aviv al Yosef. His father accused him. He never said it out loud, but Yaakov always had a suspicion that Yehuda was responsible for selling Yosef, and he hinted when Yaakov says Haya ra'a achalatu, when he says a beast must have devoured my son. Who's the beast? He was hinting, Yehuda, I know you did something over here. You're the beast, you're the lion. You ate Yosef. Not only that, when he blesses his son at the end of his life, he says, Miteref beni alita. You have risen from your devouring. So you see, he's saying, I know what's going on over here, Yehuda. He never said it, but he hints it. And when he finally exonerates him, Yehuda is pleased. As na'asu panav zachim muvurakim. Then, only then, was his face able to get back its original shine, and it was shine like the shine of a green. We said earlier that there's two emeralds or two shades of this type of green. One was Shimon and one was Yehuda. Yehuda got the shinier one. Why? Because when he did teshuvah, he was forgiven. His face got back a shine. Now, it says by Yehuda, Yadecha be'oref oyevecha. Your hand is on the neck of your enemy. If you're grabbing the neck of your enemy, how do you grab the neck of somebody? It has to be that they're turning their back to you. The only way to grab someone's neck is if they're running away. If someone's running to you, you don't grab their neck. You grab, right? You can't grab the back of the neck if they're facing you. If they're facing you, you grab the front of their neck. So if Yehuda grabs the back of his enemy, it's a bracha. It's saying that they're going to run away. Ha'even hazot, therefore, this fourth stone, kol mishin osab, whoever wears it, oivav hofchin lo orif, your enemies will run away from you. And that's why it's called a nofech. It's nofech from hefech. They turn around, they run away. You understand? Unbelievable. Your hand is in the back of your enemy's neck. Okay? We do find that Yehuda always was victorious for this reason. Okay? So he's the fourth stone, the stone of nofech, the stuff which means to turn around, which means I'm going to make my enemies turn away from me. Okay, beautiful. Number 5, Yisachar is, and I'm going fast and there's a lot to be elaborated here, but we're limited on time and there's a lot to talk about. And my throat is killing me, just to be frank. Okay, Yisachar, 5th. What is the 5th stone? The 5th stone was sapir. Sapir, easy. What's sapir? Which stone is that? Like it sounds. Sapphire, right? It has a blue color, has a blueness to it. And it was given to Yisachar. Why Yisachar? Why did he get to the sapphire? Because he was known in Torah wisdom. Like it says, Yisachar knew how to calculate times. Luchot Torah shel sanpirion hayu. And we know, what does that have to do with sapphire? The tablets that God gave Moshe were made out of sapphire. So sapphire equals Torah. And therefore it's appropriate that Yisachar, who was the ones in charge of learning Torah, was given a sapphire stone. Not only that, but when the Jewish people were able to, so to speak, gaze at God at the giving of the Torah, they saw under his feet a brick. What was that brick made out of? What color? The pasuk says in Shemot 24, "V'tahat raglav kema'aseh livnat hasapir." Under his feet was a brick of sapphire. So you see, sapphire has a lot to do with the giving of the Torah, and therefore it's appropriate for Yisachar to be holding the sapphire stone. Ve'yadu, and it's known, ki nefesh ba'alei Torah tzirura b'tzorah hayim tahat kisei kavod. The souls of the ones who learn are as well going to be attached to the throne of glory, which is also, like we just said, sapphire. This color blue is not a color of arrogance, like red or green. Red and green are very dark colors. In general, whenever movies like to make, whenever you see movies or books, when they talk about a villain, usually they're green, right? Maybe in Star Wars, right? The bad guy he has a red lightsaber. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Red, green usually are negative colors. Slytherin in Harry Potter. I know red is Gryffindor, so I don't know what to say about that one. But usually, right? Red and green are negative colors. Avat chelet, not negative, but they could be negative. Blue is very tranquil. Tzeva shel anava, humility. Shiflut, na'el, nabehorim, na'el zakanim. It's humble. It's nice for the young and nice for the old. This is the color of the Torah. This is the blue, the sapphire. Viskulat even zeh. What is this? What is this stone good for? So we saw again, the ruby is good for, who remembers? What is the ruby good for? We said that the ruby is good for fertility. Yes? Everyone with me or no? Ruby is good for fertility. The pitda, the emerald, the second one was good for immorality. The third one, the bareket, was good for wisdom. The fourth one, the nofech, was good for your enemies running away from you. The fifth one that we're up to, the sapphire, shehu tov leor ha'inayim. It's very good for vision, eyesight. Okay? If you have contacts, or if your contacts are hurting you, keep your hands on a sapphire stone, my friends. Okay. By the way, don't come to me if they don't work. Okay? I can't take any responsibility. I can't afford. I don't have insurance either. And if they don't work, I don't know what to tell you. He does say at the end that in order for the stones to work, a person has to be pure. Like the stone. Stone needs to be clean, a person has to be clean. Maybe we'll get to that at the end. But, okay, let's continue. He says, people use this stone, they pass it over the eyes. Good luck charm. So too the Torah, we know, gives one clarity. Eyesight, so to speak. Not only that, this stone could help any type of ailment and any swelling. Okay, so that's a scary word. Whenever there's swelling, mass on the body, so sapphire could sometimes help. Again, a person has to know that if I'm going to put my faith in a stone, that's avodah zarah. It's doing a hishtadlut, of course, realizing that it all comes from Hashem. If a person removes God from the equation, it's all idol worship. We can never take away God from the bottom line. Okay. Next, Zevulun. The sixth one is Yahalom. Yahalon is what we all know, diamonds. Okay, diamond is the clear stone. Okay, diamond that you wear when you get engaged, right? Diamond ring, and there's different cuts, but that's a diamond. That's the Yahalom. That's number 6. Clear. Vihi levana. This is white. Hashem shehakesef lavan. Like money is usually silver, is clear. So Zevulun got the diamond. Why? Because Zevulun is the one in charge of Parnasah. Zevulun lived on the water. He was always going to do business, always traveling. Therefore, this stone, take a guess. Sigulata even shemevi'ah shena al adam. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? This stone lets a person sleep. If you have insomnia, okay, this is another option. Okay, if the sleeping pills are not working, hold a diamond and you go to sleep. Now, what does that mean? How does that have to do with money? So I think what he means is that a person that has money goes to sleep. You're not worried at night, right? So that's what he's saying over here. This diamond is good segula for sleeping. Okay, next. You have number 7. Number 7 is Dan. What was the stone of Dan? Dan was carrying the gemstone called a leshem. The 7th stone on the breastplate was a leshem. Leshem hunikra astapsis. Okay, in English, this is called an opal. Okay, look it up. Partsuf Adam. It has in it the image of a person upside down. Hashem shehafchu shevet Dan et hake'ara al piha v'hafchu. Okay, leshem lesamel befesel micha. He says over here, they kind of made a big mistake when they put a pesel of Micha, the tribe of Dan, and they turned upside down, so to speak, the whole foundation of Judaism. Very, very scary what they did. They threw a lot of people off of the path of Judaism. Okay, Naphtali. What is Naphtali? This 8th. This is the stone called a shebo. Okay, what is shebo? This is called agate. Okay, turkiza. והפרשים מתמידים לנושאה. וכן תרגומות תרקיה. וסגולת האבן הזאת שהיא מושכת האדם על הרכב. This stone helps a person stay very Interesting view. I don't know what he's saying. He's saying it connects a person to the horse that he's riding on. It helps you go quickly. Meaning when you're, in order for, I guess, I don't ride horses, maybe you do, but I guess there has to be good chemistry between the rider and the animal, right? When there's a good chemistry, kind of like anyone like, what's that movie with the Navi? You know what I'm talking about? Avatar, yeah. We're in Animal Kingdom, so I learned a little bit about avatars. You got to connect to your dragon, right? You got to connect to your item. Either way, the horse and the rider, they have to have a certain energy, connection, synergy. So this stone helps a person connect to his horse or whatever he's riding. So you محبرت oto ala rechev, but again, given to Naphtali, shehu lashon hibur. Remember, Rahel said, Niftule Elokim niftalti. I am now connected. Naphtali. So I guess if you're having a hard time connecting, creating relationships, this is a good stone for you. This is the agate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Agate. Either way, again, I'm not expert in stones. Okay. Next, number 9. Gad. Ahlama. What's ahlama? هو نقرأ crystal. ולכן תרגומו עין עגלה. והאבן הנקרא לימן דומה לה. So this is what we call in English a crystal lemon. Okay? Quartz. Look it up. Crystal lemon. ונתנה ahlama legad. This yellow stone was given to God. Why? Shekshem she'ahlama, the same way that this stone מצוי הרבה אצל בני אדם והכל מכירים אותו, כך שבטו של גד היו מרובים והרוגיהם ניכרים. And this stone was given to God. What is he saying over here? He says that seeing that the gemstone crystal is very common and everyone is familiar with it, the members of the tribe of Gad were also widely known, as were the people who had been slain by this tribe in the wars of Israel against the Canaanites. Okay, he's referring to a battle where members of the tribe of Gad were killed, and many people were aware of this. So this is the stone of Gad. Okay. What is this stone known for? This is a stone of courage. Okay, it gives a person courage when he goes out to battle. That's why it's called ahlama, from the word milhama, war. Okay, so this stone ahlama is good for courage. Beautiful. Okay, I hope you guys are writing this down. Okay, make sure your husband buys you all of the above. Okay, next. Asher. Up to the last row, my friends, last row. Asher. This is crazy stuff. Where are you going to find this? I don't know. Asher. This is the number 10. The tribe of Asher was on the stone called the Tarshish. Tarshish is really over here translated as peridat. Okay? It's like a certain green, like a pear. Peridat. Peridot. Okay? Coriolica, he calls it. Coriolica. Vegavan shela domeh legavan hashemen. It has a certain color like olive oil. Right? That's one opinion. Veyesh pershu, others explain, she'ya'evin shetzib'a techelet. Others say no. It's it's like a techelet. It's a certain blue. V'tergumo krum yama, aquamarine. Right? Aquamarine. Umatzinu yam sheshmo Tarshish. We happen to know that there's a place called Tarshish. Remember when Yonah was running away? Vayimtza oniyah ba'a Tarshish. He saw a boat going to Tarshish. Tarshish is, right, somewhere far out in the sea. Skulat ha'even azot. What is this stone good for? Le'akel ha'ma'achal. Oh, here we go. We found it. This is good for digestion. So all of you people out there suffering from a weak metabolism, this is the stone for you. Okay? Remember, it was asher that was given oil. So his stone, like oil, it was a green color, olive oil, and it was good for helping the body digest. So this is for you. Number 10. Okay, 11. 11, Yosef. Yosef was a stone called the Shoham. Bihunikra onikli. He says it's called onikli. In English, we would call it an onyx. Onyxli, right? Onyx. Onyx, look it up. It's like a black stone. This is Yosef. Beskulat even ze latet hen le'ada. You know what I just said? You guys should be Venmoing me thousands of dollars just for this class, my friends. I'm going to give it to you for free, but you should all be paying me a lot of money. If you want chen, if you want charm, you're looking for chen, you got to find the onyx. Be'nei kol ro'av v'nikrat shoham. It's called the shoham stone, the onyx. It has the letters of Hashem. Shin, Hey, Mem. Backwards is Hey, Shin, Mem, Hashem. Why? Because the pasuk says, Vahi Hashem et Yosef. Yosef was always with God. If you want chen, you got to be with God. If you want chen, you have to be honest in your business. If you want chen, you have to remember that God's with you wherever you go. You have God, you'll have chen. Yosef had God when he was with Potiphar's house. He had God when he was in jail, always saying Hashem's name. And what happened? Vayiten hino be'enei sar bet hasohar. He had charm in the warden of the jail's eyes. So this gives you charm. But really, again, like all of the stones, you can't just wear it. You got to internalize its message. The onyx, Yosef, a person who was always thinking about Hashem. Even when he stood in front of Paro said, I heard you could interpret dreams. What did Yosef say? Not me. Hashem. God. Always with God. Mishin os'ah. Whoever wears this stone, to'il harbe, help you a lot. Beyatzliach, you'll be successful. V'hiyu devarav nishma'im. And whatever you desire, whatever your opinion is, people will listen to you. Sometimes in a company, in a family, there's different opinions. People will listen to you. You'll have charm. You'll have chen. This is the charm. This is Yosef HaTzadik. Of course, Yosef, he had chen. Yosef was with God. So it makes sense that he should deserve charm. Finally, my friends, Binyamin. Binyamin al Yashefeh. The last stone was Yashefeh. Yashpiz, which is jasper. You can see it, the jasper, right? Jasper. Vehiklula megevanim harbe. It's different colors. Aduma, shehora, yeruka. It has black and red and green. This is the stone of Binyamin. What does this stone help for? Zgulat ha'even. This has a certain remedy, a certain charm for, let's see what he says. La'atzor hadam. To help stop hemorrhaging. Binyamin. This was given to Binyamin. Why? Because it has many colors. Binyamin also had many different colors in him. What does that mean, many colors? His heart, he was very confused and torn. He says Binyamin knew what happened to Yosef. He was constantly torn, different shades. Should I tell my father? If I shouldn't tell my father. But he didn't tell his dad at the end, which, by the way, was the right thing. The right thing was to not tell his father. Telling on his brothers would have been the wrong thing, because it would have been too late. There's nothing to do at this point. You're only going to cause hatred between the father and the kids. So he kept his mouth shut, even though you can imagine he was very hurt. And it was his full brother, Yosef, that was sold. And it would have been easy for Binyamin to rat on his brothers, and Yaakov would have cursed them. This would have been his way of getting revenge at his half-brothers for selling his full brother Yosef. But he bit his tongue. V'nekret Yashefeh. He says, you know why it's called Yashefeh? The word Yashefeh is 2 words. Yesh Peh. I have a mouth. I have a mouth. I could say something, but I'm not. This is his level. Even though he could have said to his father, Shatak, he kept quiet. In life, we're all in situations. We could say something. Maybe somebody hurts us. Maybe somebody embarrasses us. We can answer back, Yesh Peh. But we keep it quiet. We bite our tongue. One is able to tap into the Segulah, to the amazing blessings of Binyamin. Ele Yudbet, these are the 12 stones that are the thing in the Choshen, corresponding to the 12 tribes, so on and so forth. So I think, my friends, this is wild stuff over here. Again, a lot to think about, to digest, literally. Okay? Again, not so much eating it. You may try. I know they line certain foods with different gold and things today. So maybe if you find a way to eat these stones, they can help you. But really, we have to be pure before we eat it. We have to make sure we internalize the message of the stone and whose stone it was before we eat it. Then, again, to all of the beautiful sigulot, the blessings of each one of these stones, we should live up to these beautiful levels, to these traits, and every one of us will be a beautiful gem in our own right. Okay, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you, God willing, all tomorrow. Bye-bye.